my name's Leann Hackman-Carty. I'm CEO of Economic Developers of Alberta. This is an important week for Alberta. Not only is it Emergency Preparedness Week, but it's International Economic Development Week. I got a chance to sit down with President and CEO Jeff Finkle of the International Economic Development Council to talk about the week and why it's so important for economic developers right now to be equipped with tools and resources to help on the economic recovery front. They are critical in your local community. And stay tuned and learn more about why we celebrate this week. Hey, Jeff, good to speak to you. Thanks for taking some time to just talk for a few minutes today about Economic Development Week.
Well, thank you very much, Leann. It's wonderful to be with you.
Well, so your organization, the International Economic Development Council, it started International Economic Development Week. So tell me about why it started and how long it's been going on, the purpose, those kind of things.
So I think this is our year 6 of Economic Development Week. And we sat back and we said, everybody else seems to find a way to pat themselves on the back, to celebrate their successes, to say, hey, community, region, province, state, we're carrying out some really important functions here. And we ought to be able to take that week and share with our politicians, with our citizenry, our civic leaders, our political leaders, our business leaders, and say, hey, we're here. Here are the things we're doing, and also get people to speak up on our behalf and say, here is what economic development did for our community, for our business, for my job. And that's what we set out to do. And thanks to organizations like yours, your provincial organizations across Canada, our state organizations across the United States, I think we've actually created a fair amount of positive publicity for economic developers, who in many cases are like the Lone Ranger, working by themselves in their communities.
Well, and I think given the current environment of the global economy, I think it's even more important now to showcase what economic developers do and how they're making a difference. I know you guys do a ton of work on the economic recovery front too. Just curious on how you see things going forward given COVID.
So we've been doing weekly webinars, and the number of people attending these webinars has been pretty phenomenal. Upwards of 1,400 people attending these webinars. Last Monday, we had one that focused on maybe international best practices dealing with the coronavirus. And Mary Moran from Calgary participated. Invest in Quebec, we had somebody from Mexico and a guy by the name of Greg Clark from Great Britain. And, you know, I think we all get fairly insular in times like this. And we kind of think that only we are dealing with this issue and we need to search into ourselves and find the answer. But the reality was what's going on in Topeka, Kansas and in High River, Alberta have things in common. And how can we learn from one another so we're not reinventing the wheel, and particularly when we're dealing with troubled times like this. In Alberta, you've experienced this in the past when you had the floods, when you've had the wildfires. You know, you learned from others, and we worked with you in getting a number of people into Alberta, and then you've supported people in the States when they've had problems. So that's what's really important about this profession and our ability to support one another.
Well, Jeff, thanks so much for what you guys do on a daily basis, on a yearly basis, and in working with us in Alberta in helping bring this profession forward and showing how important economic development is, not only just on a day-to-day basis, but when things like this happen, when disasters happen, how critical they are to the recovery.
My biggest sorrow of the year is we were supposed to have a conference in Alberta this year. We were counting on your premier coming and kicking off our conference and to tell us how important economic development was in Alberta, and we're going to be missing that opportunity. So we're coming in 3 years, so we'll be coming back at you. Thank you all for what you do, Leann, and what the economic developers of Alberta do to make Alberta a stronger place.
Thanks, Jeff. Take care.
Bye.